Hello everyone! Welcome to the Mattoon Corner. You know, I've been doing some searching around YouTube and I've realized there are a lot of top 10 videos. Top 10 episodes of this show, top 10 games of this series, top 10 theme songs, the list just goes on. They seem to be a pretty popular genre of videos nowadays, so I figured, if you can't beat them, join them.
Right. Because that answers everything.
Shut up, Adam.
I'm just saying. Doing what everyone else is doing seems like a cheap way to get more views.
Touché.
Do you even have a subject for one in the first place?
Funny you should mention that.
Are you here to watch the planets align too? Look! I even packed a picnic!
Where do I even begin? 2013 was a very mixed year in my opinion. On one hand, we got shows like Wander Over Yonder and the ever so popular Steven Universe. On the other hand, we also got shows like Early Uncle Grandpa. Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, but not what I'm here to talk about. Wander Over Yonder stood out to me for several reasons. From the lively color palette to the hilarious characters, the show just felt optimistic compared to the rest, and that's shown through the main character. Imagine if SpongeBob got a massive sugar rush and had the most likable aspects of his personality up to 11. That's Wander in a nutshell. It boggles my mind how Disney could cancel such a great show like this one, and instead focus more on this bullcrap. The show has this special kind of heart to it, and while I'd love to go into more detail, I have a schedule to keep, so let's get down to business. I've prepared a list of the 10 best Wander Over Yonder episodes. At least, in my opinion. These are episodes I believe capture the essence of the show while still being unique and highly enjoyable. Adam, if you'd please start us off.
My pleasure. Number 10.
The Birthday Boy. If there's one thing you learn about Wander as the show goes on, it's just how oblivious and optimistic he can be in the face of danger, and this episode captures that perfectly. There are plenty of episodes like this one, but this one stands out to me simply because of how innocent Wander's intentions are. All he wants is for Lord Hater to have a great birthday, and the lengths he'll go to make that happen are hilarious. Plus the song in the end is just so catchy. Good luck getting that out of your head.
Number 9.
The Boy Wander. I'll be blunt. I love Batman. He's probably my favorite comic book hero of all time. Everything about this guy can simply be summed up in one word. Awesome. So naturally, an episode that happens to be a direct parody of the Caped Crusader would be one of my favorites. I just love how serious Wander acts this entire episode, just like how Batman thinks the Joker is the worst thing imaginable. Which, to be fair, he kind of is. But on the topic of Jokers, Weird Al as Dr. Screwball Jones was a genius move. This man's voice was made for a character like this, and it wouldn't be a Weird Al cameo if I had an accordion song.
Hey there! Let's have some fun! Join my good time gang! Just one question first! Rhubarb or meringue? Ha! We'll make both.
It's an episode that tries to be serious without being serious at all, and I love it. Nothing but lighthearted humor and fun.
Number 8.
The Matchmaker. One thing that makes Wander Over Yonder stick out compared to a show like SpongeBob, for example, is the continuity. And the sheer amount of references to previous episodes in this one is enough to make me bust a gut. The title text that appeared at every minute detail just made me laugh at how random this episode was. I mean, have you seen the amount of different shows this episode parodies? This episode's just funny. I legitimately have no other words to describe it. If you feel like laughing, then be my guest and give this episode a watch.
Number 7.
The Little Guy. Oh man, where do I even start? This episode is just so sweet. The entire episode shows just how far being nice to someone can go. Wesley the Watchdog is a character I immediately sympathize with. I might not know how it feels like to be the rut of the litter, but I do know how it feels like to be the odd one out. Being the only American in a classroom of Brazilian kids kinda does that to you. I was a lot like him. All I want was glory amongst my peers, but it always felt out of reach. Seeing this episode tackle a subject like that really made me smile. Seeing Wander go so far to change Wesley's mind was just so sweet, and I honestly wish he had appeared in more episodes. The episode's sweet, has a great plot twist, and even a better ending song. What more does an episode like this need?
Number 6.
The waste of time. If you've ever watched Doctor Who, you know space and time travel go hand in hand. Not only is this episode chock full of references to previous episodes.
Look, buddy, I know you're having fun reminiscing, but we can't just waste our time watching past episodes of our lives.
We also get a little glimpse of Wander and Sylvia's lives right before they met each other. Back when Sylvia was still a bounty hunter and back when Wander was still... tumbleweed, I guess. It's a nice little episode that shows a bit more of our character's past and gives us one of those traditional time travel plot endings with a bit of an original twist. I mean, waiting 50 years to fix the time stream? Neat. Overall, a fun episode all the way. So now we've reached the top 5 episodes. These are all episodes I knew had to be on this list since the first time I watched them. With that said, let's move on to...
Number 5.
The Battle Royale. Craig McCracken never stopped making cartoons, especially action cartoons. This episode was the perfect match of Wander Over Yonder humor and action. Seeing all these villains beat each other senselessly is even funnier when it's all for a candy ring Wander put there. And because the wireless telephone game is broken, everyone thinks it's a super weapon. Wander just being Wander to make his matchmaking plan fall through is also a plus. But the real showstopper has to be the Hater and Dominator fight. Hater may have been reduced to a bit of a joke because of Wander, but he used to be the greatest in the galaxy for a reason, and he makes it very clear in this one fight. It's a shame he loses his recently gained admiration when he realizes Dominator is a girl, but still, the episode was action-packed, something I honestly wasn't expecting to see much here. Plus it paved way for the next episode on the list.
Number 4.
My Fair Haiti. Why do so many shows have musical episodes? Not that I'm complaining or anything, I love episodes like this, at least when it's done right, and of course it is done right here. The plot is told through all these great songs and we actually see Wander and Lord Hater working together, but what really sells me here is the kind of villain Dominator turns out to be. Her I'm the Bad Guy song really shows just how cold and cruel her personality is, which is a perfect contrast to Wander's happy-go-lucky nature. This episode really sets the scene for future episodes, and it was just really enjoyable overall. So yeah, watch this episode in case you haven't.
Number 3.
The Wanders. Now, a character being separated into aspects of his personality or something along those lines isn't anything new, but sadly this is a concept very people actually use for plot reasons. Yes, it can be used solely for humor, but think of the ways we can learn more about certain characters with this exact method. And this episode succeeds in that brilliantly. First of all, upping the number of copies to 400 from the usual 3 or 4 just made this episode so much funnier. They literally took every tiny aspect of Wander's psyche and exaggerated it even more than it already is. And seeing Sylvia understand that every part of Wander is what makes him, well, him, is just so sweet. And then there's the real kicker. Like I said, not many shows use this concept to its full potential. Wander's past is something shrouded in mystery. We've only been given a couple of glimpses and, to be honest, he's probably the oldest character in the whole series. But seeing Wander before he was, well, Wander made me stop and think just what kind of life he had before he became the Wanderer he is. It was touching to see this side of Wander and just how much it makes him who he is. I honestly wished more shows did episodes like this.
Oh no! We just split Raven into 4 versions of herself!
Actually, there are 5 Ravens now.
On second thought...
Number 2. The End of the Galaxy.
Don't you just love it when a series finale does not disappoint? This episode was just amazing. Seeing the galaxy's last stand against Lord Dominator was a sight to behold, especially considering the fact that Lord Hater went back to being the actual villain people made him out to be. The episode was heartfelt and actiony, just what I like from a show like this. But the best part was, in my opinion, Wander. It wasn't just the galaxy against Dominator. It was Wander clinging on to his hope that everyone has a chance to be good. He goes against everyone he knows because he believes there's an alternative, and he's partially right too. I honestly believe he reached Dominator in some way. Maybe not the way he wanted to, but enough that if Disney ever decides to continue the show, she'll come back, but maybe be a bit reformed. Plus that tease at the end. This episode was a great way to end our character's story. A great and heartwarming conclusion to one of Disney's greatest shows in a while. Now before we finish, I'd like to take the time to list off a couple of
Honorable mentions.
the shorts. What can I say about these really? It's basically one Wander episode chopped up into 11 pieces. It's a fun little distraction that bridges the 2 seasons together, but nothing extraordinary by any means. The Brainstorm. Wander isn't the only funny character in this show. This episode shows just how well Lord Hater and Commander Peepers play off each other, offering a funny episode. While not good enough to make my list, it's a fun episode regardless. The Gift and The Gift 2. I'll admit, I'm cheating here, but that's because these episodes are at their best when you watch them together. It's a really great 2-parter that took a while to get the full story, but a wait that was well worth it. It's funny and pretty surprising too, so give these two a watch when you can. The Legend. This episode would probably be my number 11 if I could put it on the list. I love how it gives us an idea as to how we interpret urban legends, as a kid or a young adult. It lets us see that not always the legends are true, but are still able to give hope no matter what the situation. A pretty sweet story, and it was pretty funny seeing all these kids retell Wander's story.
Number 1.
The Flower. Man, this is one episode I was not expecting. Now, Wander may have had some heartfelt moments, but it was, at its core, a comedy. But this episode made me think twice about that fact. It had some humor, yes, but the main focus was Wander being sad. Him, the most optimistic character in the entire show, spent almost an entire episode being sad, and clinging on to the hope that the universe could be saved, and the source of that hope being his one flower. Watching how far Wander and Sylvia went to keep that flower safe was heartwarming, and seeing them even go up against Dominator herself for the sake of keeping that hope alive was great. And when Wander explained that it's okay to be sad in dark times, I honestly shed a few tears. Everyone goes through moments like this, and that's fine, but this episode is all about remembering to have hope for better times up ahead. I'm positive someone might have been going through a tough time before watching this episode, and after they did, they started looking at things a bit differently. I know I did. An episode that I wouldn't expect a show like this to have, and yet it definitely holds my spot as the number 1 episode of Wander Over Yonder. Well, that's all the time.
Hold on a moment. Aren't you forgetting something?
What? What else am I missing? Oh, crud, really?
Yes.
But I don't wanna... Fine. Look, I wanted to make this video a bit more unique, so I decided to add a third category. This is an episode I don't think deserves a spot on the list, but I still hold it in high regards for dumb reasons. As such, I've named this section...
Mattoon's Guilty Pleasure.
The Party Poopers. With a name like that, I honestly wasn't expecting much, but when I watched the episode, I finally realized where the poop part comes into play. This episode is nothing but butt jokes. Butt jokes everywhere. Season 2 was full of dramatic moments and interesting choices for plots, but... butt jokes? It's stupid, it's childish, it's juvenile, and I love it! Honestly, ask any little kid if butts are funny and they'll just laugh. And that's the whole point of this episode, making kids laugh. Plus it even gives a nice little moral of not being so serious all the time and lightening up. It's lighthearted, funny, and inoffensive, just the way it should be. There, happy now?
Not quite.
What now? Oh, wait, I forgot about that.
Where would you be without me?
Adam, shut it. Anyway, I'm pleased to announce that the Mattoon Corner now has a Facebook page. I'll be posting things like updates to weekly questions and all that jazz. Just a little something to keep you guys occupied until the next video. Be sure to follow me there and to share it to all your friends too. Welp, that's all the time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone.
And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Adam. Until next time, everyone, and remember to be cool and be creative.